Thank you for joining me here. We're at the Worthington Diamond Mine here in southwest Arkansas, located just a short distance outside of southwest Arkansas's famous Crater of Diamond State Park. We're going to study the ore deposit here for just a minute. This is where we've excavated, and something might seem out of place to you, and so we'll take a look at this. All of this is igneous ore, the volcanic lamproite that has been vertically fractured. But if you look, there's a lot of pebbles in this. There's jaspers. See, look, here's a red jasper right in there. Now, that's a sedimentary rock, as well as this cobble. And what is a sedimentary rock doing in an igneous intrusion, you may ask? Well, let's talk about that a minute. So, to explain what happened here in the past, so there was a shallow sea here eons ago, and there was deep-seated earthquake faulting, probably caused because the continents collided and then later retracted and left a deep-seated weak spot here that would allow earthquake faulting and volcanic material from down deep under like steam and CO2 gas pressure to blast to the surface at about Mach 2, twice the speed of sound. So pretty fast for acres of rock to come exploding to the surface. Well, when it did, it blew. It was a terrible steam explosion. When you have hot rocks hitting a shallow sea, pow, steam explosion, and all that coming at Mach 2 and then hit the surface. Well, it was still going, and it mixed with the water, and it even burned some rock. It was so hot. The molten rock wouldn't burn because it didn't have any air. Once it got to the oxygen in the air, then that rock could burn, and that way we have some rock ash in this lamproite. So it all blew up in the air. When it came through, it penetrated a layer of Trinity clay. It's a real hard clay layer. So it busted through that Trinity clay. It all went up in the air. The clay mixed with the volcanic material, and it all settled back in and formed a solid igneous rock, the lamproite. And it's got angular clasts, or angular components, chunks of the Trinity clay mixed in it that solidified when it all came back down. But that brings us back to the original question: what is a sedimentary rock doing in this deposit? Well, after the intrusion, everything came down and it cooled over time and turned to a solid, hard rock. The once molten lava was now a hard rock. The shallow sea came back. So you had tidal action and water in here, and it washed these beach pebbles around. That is water-worn nabaculite, chert, chalcedony, jaspers. So this is definitely a red jasper, and it's from the beach floor. So this is how sedimentary rocks got on top. Well, then what happened is, while this tidal action and waves and shallow sea was going on, it also deposited some iron ore and manganese, and that's what this black layer is. It's right on the surface. So, and then it leached down in these cracks between it. So that iron and manganese is a goethite limonite deposit. So you've got iron and manganese, and then this is, see, it's not flat. That's the funny thing. We had erosion, and we kind of have a pocket of gravel. Here, let me wet it so you can see it a little bit better. That might bring the colors out better. Of course, it might just wash it away. Anyhow, that was an idea. But so you can definitely see this pocket better. You can see that red jasper. I want to make sure the camera is framed up to where you're seeing what I'm talking about. So we got us it was a flat igneous intrusion, and then with some erosion it wallered out, or maybe even a dinosaur stepped here and made a hole, and then the holes filled up with beach pebbles as it washed, tidal action, and just you know, with the rains, the different rocks washed in here and filled in. And so what could be, see, geologists say this originally was 50 meters, or in other words about 150 feet higher, at least at the crater of Diamonds, than what it is currently. That means it eroded down 150 feet, and we are 50 feet higher than the crater of Diamonds, so we may have eroded down 100 feet. The volcanic material went all the way to the surface, so at one time it was 100 feet higher than this. Well, this eroded off, and the silt washed away, as it does at the crater of Diamonds when they plow. They plow for maximum erosion. Silt washes away, and then diamonds are like an old fat man at a 10K run. He just tends to plop down right there and not move. Diamonds are the same way because they are dense. And so they could tend to settle down in a pocket like that. So you've got a shallow sea and all these rocks rolling around. If you've got diamonds from that 100 feet above, the silt has washed away, and there could be a diamond concentration on the surface here, and the diamonds could be trapped in that pocket. So what I want to do, get the excavator, I'll pull this off, dig it, turn it around, add it to our pile of stuff we're washing. It won't hurt for these cobbles and pebbles, novaculite, chert, jasper, to go through our diamond recovery plant. In fact, they kind of work like grit, because I roll it around in that giant scrubber trommel, and those hard rocks like that will help break down this soft rock. The volcanic rock is soft, and you know, you can take out a solid piece, or I say you can anyway, but then you can just crumble it. So anyhow, these won't hurt to go through our process, and there might be diamonds in with those cobbles, pebbles. So anyway, it'll be interesting to run. I'm glad to find it. So after the intrusion, after say 100 feet of erosion and the beach pebbles, and we only have usually 3 or 4 inches of gravel, beach cobbles in here, then we had 3 or 4 feet of clay built up on top of it, and that was just after the ocean receded, higher hills washed clay and down onto this, and anyway, formed a layer of clay that kept this hidden from other prospectors. But we found the hidden lamproite and dug it up, and now we're running it through our diamond recovery plant. And this may be particularly rich in diamonds because it's already naturally concentrated. The diamonds from 100 feet higher could be concentrated here in this pocket, and we don't know how that pocket goes. That might be a bowling ball sized pocket, it might be a trench through there, it might be an old ditch that followed through. But I want to dig that gravel and add it to our pile of lamproite, and we'll run it through our diamond recovery plant and see how many diamonds are in it. Thanks for joining me for this look at the Worthington Diamond ore deposit in southwest Arkansas.